Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to a brand new week. I hope you had just a fantastic weekend. I hope you got out in the sunshine, that you just took time for yourself and had a chance to recharge and re-energize. Know that, next week you'll be headed into just a 4-day school week and you have Monday off because it will be Memorial Day next week. So your next week's video, day one, will not be posted until Tuesday. So I just wanted to let you know that you have that 3-day weekend coming up. So I hope you take advantage of it. Let's go ahead and get started today. This week, I would always start just like we do every Monday at the website. And you can see your due dates here if you're in English 1. If you are in honors, you have an extra assignment, which we'll go over here in just a minute. But you can see you're going to have one assignment in Schoology, and then you have one assessment in Turnitin this week. So just those two primary turn-ins that you'll need to do this week. You are in honors. You have a third assignment, really just two assignments, then an assessment, but you do have a third turn in, and that will be your documentary assignment. So you'll notice on your module sheet when we look at them in a minute, you're going to watch a documentary, and there'll be just some basic questions in Schoology for you to answer, nothing in detail on those, but you'll be analyzing that documentary next week. So you just want to watch it this week. Let's go ahead and look at how our week is going to unfold. And the best way to do that is to pull up our module sheet. So whenever I come out to the website, you'll notice I do have the final projects lining out here that we talked about, that we started on May 4th when you did step 1. This week will be step 2. And these are just your different options that line up to what we discussed on May 4th. And I'll keep building these, but once these are completed this week, you'll be able to click on each of these next week for those examples and samples to help you. Everyone will have the exact same guidelines. You have the same checklist. It's just how you deliver what you've learned and how you've mastered those standards and reach those objectives. That's what's going to be different. Is how do you choose to show me that you know what you know? And I really want you to have some choice and voice in that. So that's why the 4 different options. Today is the 18th, so I'll just click on my module sheet here, and then it will load up. When I look at this week, it is pretty clear. You have just those, like I said, the one assignment in Schoology, and then you will need to go to Turnitin to do the theme analysis. When you go out to Schoology, I'll show you here in just a minute. It's just says step 2. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's just 5 questions for you. The theme analysis here, I'll also go out in just a moment and show you. It's just you're going to write only about theme in the LEAP, and I'm going to walk you through that in just a minute. You are in honors. You will notice your module sheet looks a little different because you do have that documentary that you'll be watching. I did put a list at the bottom, so scroll to the bottom. Some of you didn't do that for the TED Talks. So scroll to the bottom. These are just some documentaries that you might want to watch that I did get from an educational journal that I subscribe to, but you can choose any documentary of your choice. But I don't want you to spend hours on it. I just want you to watch one documentary that you'll need to analyze. Let's go ahead and get started. This week I did send out to you, of course, those module sheets in your email. I also sent the story again of the LEAP, just in case you need it fresh in your mind. And I also put out the organized steps, the organization or the outline steps for your final projects to help you that you'll see here in just a moment. We're going to start with that final project here. And I want you to think about, what book did you choose? Everyone, I was really impressed with the amount of turn-ins I had from step 1. I had about a 68% turn-in, which is really good. That means most of, 68% of you did that step 1 assignment in Schoology, letting me know, what option are you going to do for your final project? It is all over the place. The majority of people, it looks like, are going to take option 1 and 2. I have several doing option 3, and I have just a smattering, about 4 or 5 people that are going to choose option 4 so far. Remember, you're choosing your book from your reading log from either quarter 3 or quarter 4 for this semester's project. And we went over this before. This is what you'll need to be thinking about as you're reading, or if you've already finished what you want to go back through and think about. And these were the options that we discussed last time. And you did step 1. So now we're going to look at step 2 this week, which is organizing. Now that I know what I'm going to do and I know what I'm going to do it on, and I've had a chance to think about it and plan and really, sort of map out the direction I want to head in, now I need to organize. So the best way to do that is to just open up a blank document and start outlining your project. Use this checklist to guide you. I did attach this as a PDF for you to help you if you need to have it in front of you. Once you have this completed, you're going to be able to start that draft next week. And you're going to probably finish long before you really need to. But it also gives you a lot of time to be tweaking and revising as we head into finals week. I don't want you starting your project that week. I want you, turning it in so you can focus on your other subjects that you need to in case you're taking a finals exam or something in another course. But you can walk yourself through these. And also your Schoology assignment here, which I'll show you in just a moment, is exactly what's off of this checklist. So I'm just really trying to encourage you to dig in and to not procrastinate. The key, preparation is the key. So I want you to be focusing on that. Next week, we'll step into the drafting phase. All right, when I go to Schoology, how I'm going to submit that assignment is I'll click on my course, remember, and then I'm going to go directly into that assignment once it loads. And you can see here, if I scroll to the bottom, it says step 2, organize. I just click on that. And there are the questions right there for me. And this is right off of the checklist. Okay, so it's just thinking about things that were on the checklist. And, not everything on the checklist is there, but a lot of it is. So then I would just copy this, highlight it all. I'm going to Control C it, Control C, and then I'm going to just click Submit. And then I'll click Create, and I'm just going to Control V and plop it in there. And then I can do my answers at my own speed. Some of this you might need to look back in your notes. So go back through your notes in your English notebook. If you don't have your English notebook at home, you are going to want to, either come into office hours and I can walk you through what you don't have if you didn't get to bring that home. Or I also have, on this Google Slides, you'll see some of the answers there as well. All right, so that is that's your only assignment this week in Schoology. So it's just that working on your final project, that's step 1. The assessment this week is going to be on the leap. Remember, you read that story last week about the daughter's point of view who's telling the story about her mother. It has these, literal leaps, being a trapeze artist, and these figurative leaps about, life that aren't real, that she's making these jumps, that she had to be brave and take a leap. Okay. This week, what you're going to do is you're going to analyze the theme of that short story. And the theme is that central message that is, deeper than just good versus evil. So an overarching theme might be one word, but that's more what we consider to be the topic or the main idea. The theme will go into that one word on a deeper level. So it's an insight about human life that's revealed in a literary work. It's something that you can walk away with and apply to your life. If you're reading a novel about aliens, obviously, you're like, well, this doesn't apply to me. I'm not an alien. But that would tell you that there's something deeper there. Because every good piece of literature, every great piece of literature that was written has something that can be applied to life no matter when the reader reads it. That's why those classics that we continue to read throughout high school and college continue to be considered classics, because no matter when we read them, there is something for the audience of today that they can take away. The true theme is rarely ever stated by the author. They don't just come out and say what they want you to think the theme is. Their hope is that their writing creates in you this thinking and reflecting so that you pull out the themes that apply to you in your life. As I said, good literature there's more than one. There are several themes that are possible. that are probable and provable. Provable means there's some evidence in there. We don't just jump to the theme. We don't just jump to a conclusion. We can prove it with evidence and examples from the literature. Ask yourself, what is the author's message to me? And you'll probably walk away with one of the possible themes. Like I said, it's more than one word. We often start with overarching themes or the main idea or topics, but we have to dig into those beyond just friendship, love, and bravery. If your theme sort of sounds like a Hallmark card or just your basic old fortune cookie message, you need to dig deeper to find a more unique theme, a more compelling theme, something that's going to really challenge your reader to think and want to read about what you thought about that piece of literature. So let's look at some examples. If I have Harry Potter, a lot of people would say, okay, good triumphs over evil. Yeah, that's a theme, but it's really safe, right? It's really bland and boring. I mean, it's probably what a lot of people are going to say about this piece of literature. Another one might be, well, okay, so Harry couldn't do it by himself. You know, he couldn't defeat evil all on his own, so no one succeeds alone is a pretty good theme. Again, I would say that's a nice theme. It's pretty cliche. Cliche means overly said, what people would expect. So I would want you to go beyond that. To find the theme, you would just say the author's message to the reader is, and whatever you can fill in the blank, that is your overarching theme. So maybe if you once you get out of the safety zone and you step beyond your comfort zone a little bit and you think deeper, you dig below the surface, you might come up with something along the lines of the author's message to the reader is that in order to become a powerful leader, sometimes it is necessary to break some rules. That might shock your reader a little bit. Like, what? These were all good kids. They shouldn't be breaking rules. The heroes don't break rules. But that would really provoke your reader to want to read more, because that's a little more, I think it's more unique. It's compelling. It makes me want to see how you're going to prove that. To move into the theme, now all you have to do is cross out the author's message to the reader is that, and you just state the theme. Your theme that you would be proving in this particular literary analysis would be to become a powerful leader, it is necessary to break some rules. Wow, I want to see where you're going to go with that. I want to see what evidence you have, because that sounds like a great, challenging, a deeper theme that you pulled out of that piece of literature. Let's try one from Shrek. Again, we just start with the author's message to the reader is that, boom. And so maybe, again, you might say, oh, ogres are like onions, right? There's lots of layers to people. Well, we can't walk away with ogres and onions because none of us are ogres or onions. So that's not an overarching theme that's about life, okay, that we can walk away with. Yes, you could say there are many layers to people and we need to look beyond the surface. Again, good theme, but pretty generic, pretty cliche and expected. Maybe a better theme that I've had students come up with before has said something along the lines of, the author's message to the reader is that only those willing to face the ugliest parts of themselves will find true love. I like to read that. That's a little bit deeper. Again, I'm going to cross off that little crutch that I have here. I'm going to kick that out. So now the thesis can stand on its own. Only those willing to face the ugliest parts of themselves will find true love. That's my theme. Now I need to support it with details and evidence from the text. Remember, like I said, if it's a good piece of literature, there are several possible, probable, and provable quote or themes that you could pull out with lots of quotes and evidence to back it up. So my examples are just one of many. I just want you thinking about how do you get to the theme? How do I come up with a good theme? And this is how you do it. If you have questions, please pop into office hours so that I can help you and I can maybe direct you a little bit more or clarify anything that you've been thinking. When you're ready to share that theme with me, you'll go to turnitin.com. You're going to click on your get into your assignments, into your inbox. So this is what is the theme of the LEAP. Those right here, just quotation marks. by Lois Erdrich. In your topic sentence, make sure to include the title, author, and theme. In your response, make sure you explain how the theme is developed. Give specific examples from the plot in which the author developed the theme. So that's your prompt. How, maybe that will take you one large paragraph. Maybe it's going to be more than one paragraph. It depends on what you have to say and how you're going to support your theme. So that's what I need you to do and to answer. Like I said, I'll type that up and put it on the website for you. I'm glad I tried that while we were doing this because I thought I could highlight and copy paste. It doesn't let me. But when I go ahead and click submit, and then all you'll need to do is, and you can do single file upload, which is what I'd prefer. Give it a title, The Leap or My Theme. And then you can choose from your computer if you did it in Word or write from Google Drive as well. If you'd rather just copy and paste your answer from your document, then you go to cut and paste upload. But those are your options. It's the same thing that we've done in class and that you've done before. But I just wanted to jog your memory. Once you have it in there, it'll give you a little picture. You just click upload and you're done. And it will let you know that you've submitted. It'll give you a little green check mark, and then you go back and look in your inbox. And like I said, you'll know if you haven't submitted it because it will say in there that you still need to submit. Like, look at mine, right? It still says I need to submit. They're not shaded and they don't say resubmit. So I know I still have to do it. All right, so that is for Friday's assessment. And you can go do that at any time. It's not due, of course, until Friday at midnight when I'll start grading those over the weekend. So I hope that does help. I'm glad we did this together because it let me see what doesn't work from your end and I can troubleshoot it in advance. Okay. Next week, what I'm going to go over is just some of the options, like those of you that are going to be doing a podcast. I have some examples of how to do that podcast and some really cool resources for you. So stay tuned because I'll go over that more in depth on next week. And I'll also put up on Wednesday, I'll put up a little video just to refresh. There won't be anything new, but I'll go into a little more depth if you want to get started on that. All right, so I hope you have a fantastic week. Pop into office hours, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.